Ever dream of taking your business global? Going from a local hero to a real global powerhouse? Well, it's a massive step. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down the 8 pillars that can literally make or break that entire journey.
Hi, I'm 𝐘𝐨𝐮'𝐥𝐥, your AI knowledge operator, and I'll be your guide as we navigate the complex, but trust me, very rewarding world of international expansion. So, here's the thing. Going global? It's the ultimate goal for so many businesses, but why do only a handful actually make it big? The reality is, every year thousands try to expand, but most of them hit walls they just never saw coming. So what's the secret sauce? Well, it all starts way before you even think about booking a flight. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first things first. Before you go anywhere, you've got to build a solid foundation. This first phase, it's all about preparation. This is where you lay the groundwork that's going to support your entire global strategy. And believe me, if you get this part right, you've already dodged most of the bullets. Step 1 in that prep phase is doing some serious market research. And I'm talking deep. You've got to become a student of your new market. This isn't just about demographics, age and location. No, you need to really understand who your audience is, what their daily problems are, and who's already there trying to solve them. It's like mapping out the entire cultural landscape to figure out where your usual game plan just isn't going to cut it.
And a classic tool for this, for a reason, is the good old SWOT analysis. You're not just glancing at what your competitors are selling. Nope, you're putting their entire operation under a microscope. What are their strengths that you'll have to go up against? Where are their weaknesses that you can pounce on? Are there any market opportunities they've completely missed? And, of course, what threats could they pose to you as the new kid on the block?
And look, if you're thinking, is all this research really necessary? Just follow the money. The market research industry itself is absolutely booming. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. This isn't some optional little checklist item. It's a massive global industry for one simple reason. Businesses that actually invest in this stuff see a way, way higher return on their investment when they finally do expand.
All right, so once your research is locked in, it's time to move on to our second pillar, adapting your operations. This is the technical blueprint. It's all the nitty-gritty stuff that makes sure your business can, actually work in a totally new environment.
Take your website, for example. This is a perfect illustration of a seemingly small choice that has a huge impact. So what do? Do you register a local domain like yourbusiness.de for Germany to send really strong local signals to search engines? Or do you just create a subfolder like yourbusiness.com/de, which is way easier to manage? It sounds technical, but your choice here is going to directly affect how easily brand new customers can even find you online.
And then there's the legal stuff, the international rule book. You absolutely positively have to get your head around things like data privacy laws. Think GDPR in Europe. You've got to protect your brand with international trademarks, figure out trade tariffs, meet local quality standards. The list goes on. And let me be clear, ignoring any of these can stop your expansion dead in its tracks.
And on a practical note, let's not forget about the supply chain. How are you going to get your product from point A to point B? This means you've got to learn the language of global shipping. That means understanding standardized rules called Incoterms, and using the right harmonized system code so your stuff doesn't end up stuck in customs for months. Nightmare.
Okay, so we've got the research done, the technical blueprint is in place, but now we shift to what is honestly maybe the most important piece of this entire puzzle, the human element. This is where we talk about forging real connections.
I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 75%. 3 out of every 4 consumers would rather buy something in their own native language. Think about that. This isn't just a nice to have, it's a fundamental part of building trust. If you're not speaking your customer's language, you are literally leaving a ton of money on the table.
And the sheer scale of this challenge is, well, it's huge. There are over 7,000 languages spoken worldwide. Now, obviously, you don't need to master all of them, but it just goes to show how critical it is to nail the languages that matter for your specific target markets.
This brings us to a super important concept, localization. And please, don't confuse this with simple translation. It's so much more. Localization is about making your entire brand feel like it was born and raised in that new market. We're talking about things like having local contact numbers, partnering with local distributors, and crafting marketing messages that actually resonate with the culture, not just a word-for-word swap.
Okay, last section. Let's bring it all home and talk about the launch itself. Because sometimes knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. So let's look at some of the most common pitfalls that trip businesses up time and time again.
Common pitfall number 1,
relying on direct machine translation. Please don't just dump your clever marketing slogans into a free online translator and call it a day. It almost always misses the cultural nuance and can lead to some really embarrassing or just plain weird results. The solution? Invest in professional localization services. It's worth every penny.
Next up, a big one: ignoring data laws. In today's world, this is a mistake that can cost you dearly. Seriously. Failing to comply with major regulations like GDPR in Europe can lead to fines so massive they could completely sink your new venture before it even has a chance to float.
And pitfall number 3, assuming everyone just uses a credit card. Big mistake. In so many countries, local payment methods or digital wallets are king. They're way more popular than traditional credit cards. If you don't offer those options, you're going to lose a ton of sales right at the checkout. It's a total conversion killer. So after we've gone through all these pillars, all these common mistakes, it really all comes back to one single critical first step. One question you have to answer before you do anything else.
And what is that step? It's right back where we began: comprehensive market research. This is the non-negotiable, you cannot skip this part. It's what confirms that people in this new market even want what you're selling. And it's what gives you the roadmap to navigate all the tricky cultural and legal stuff we talked about. Because at the end of the day, success in global expansion isn't about having some flawless, rigid plan. It's about having the right mindset. It boils down to this: being adaptable, being culturally sensitive, and having a proactive attitude to jump on opportunities and solve problems as they pop up.
So that's the big question I want to leave you with. Looking at everything we've covered, is your business really ready to command its own global expedition? Because the world, it's out there waiting for you.